Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. And we're back to the Shivering Break.
Episode 5, I believe.
Episode 5, Fashion Week edition.
There you go, Fashion Week edition. So what'd you pull up today? What outfit?
So we'll start with the fit check.
Yeah.
Today I came with the work from the bottom up. The sneakers wore my Tom Sachs, the general purpose shoe.
GPS. Young GPS.
With that GPS.
It's a hot shoe. Everyone's been I've been seeing around town people wearing the GPS. How do you like it?
I like them, man. They're actually dropping the chocolate one next week.
I saw. That looks kind of cool.
It's a love and hate for me. I think eventually I might get them, but I want to get my hands on the first release first.
I think you need to wear them out and like get a little like sun so they kind of like
fade a bit.
Bleach out and fade. Yeah, so I think they'll look cool.
But that, some Levi's 505s, kind of like dad jeans.
505. Vintage or?
No, new ones.
New ones, yeah. Okay.
I want to break them in myself.
I see.
With the really big cuff so I can show off the shoes.
I doing like the Japanese cuff. You always see those crazy denim heads out in Japan.
That's what I'm trying for today. White t-shirt, Target, $6 one. The
there
one I swear by.
Hey, listen, if you rocking plain tees, it's the fit's right. The fit's right.
Or it could be $1,000 tee with no logo.
I mean, tell that to bros.
J. Crew
cardigan. You smoke crack in that shirt?
I make too much money to ever smoke crack. Let's get that straight, okay? We don't do crack. We don't do that. Crack is whack.
By the way, that's a full reference to Whitney Houston. Do not watch that movie. It was terrible. Like a waste of 2 hours.
Yeah, it's not a vibe. And then I'm wearing a H&M like puffer vest.
I see.
And then
I see you layering right now. A lot of layers.
Trying to do that Japanese vibe.
Okay, I see.
Because it's like over here in LA, it's like what, 62, 65 degrees.
The weather is bugging right now. It'll be hot and then it'll be cold, and at night it gets really fucking cold.
A little bit of rain every now and then. But yeah, that, and then I got the double RL, not double RL. The Ralph like hunting little collection beanie on the watch cap.
Oh, I see.
So I try to match the orange with the orange tab on the shoe.
Are you a big Wes Anderson fan?
I am actually.
You ever seen the film Life Aquatic of
Steve Zissou?
Steve Zissou, yeah.
Yeah.
The red beanie.
I was actually him for Halloween last year.
Oh, really? Were you Bill Murray?
I tried.
Role?
Yeah, I tried to be
Did you dye the beard?
White? I did not. No. And I was missing the gun strap on the thigh.
And the Adidas shoes.
I wore Adidas, but I didn't have the same color. I just put Sambas on.
Close enough. But
yeah, that's today's drip though. What about you, my guy? What are you rocking?
All right, top to bottom, right? You know what I mean? Insert splice over here. I just shaved my head, so I'll go on the tippy top. That chrome dome. And then I'm rocking, my outerwear is Comme des Garçons. You know what I mean? Old one from like, I want to say 2013.
Hell yeah.
Shouts out to Ray Cabo. My shirt is the Cause and the Cactus Jack.
Okay.
That's Travis Scott's brand. And then I'm just wearing the vintage fucking, what do I got here? The Carhartt. That's from LA. No, from Slash Denim from Berkeley. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then I was wearing Yeezy boots.
Fuck yeah.
Season 5, I believe. Season 5 or season 6.
Those are classic. Do you remember
just super dirty and muddy, and I love the soles. It looks like some type of like space sole.
Kind of a little modular.
Yeah. Then I'm rocking that Goya, the old Goya.
Oh, you got that sirloin on the waist.
You got that sirloin on the waist. Yeah, I got this Goya belt back on Rue de Saint-Henri when I was in Paris. I got it back when you had to get a plane ticket to go and get this because they only sold it at the Rue de Saint-Henri shop. As
they should.
And now you get the belt anywhere, and it makes me kind of sad. I don't know.
It's unfortunate.
I'm all for gatekeeping, you know?
Yeah. Hashtag gatekeep.
You know, so, I mean, I like it. It's fucking stood the test of time. It goes with anything.
Dude, we've played many, many rounds of golf, and you wear that to golf.
Yeah.
Which I think is super fly.
I seen the old, like, Ben Ballers in the golf now. Yeah. He wears the Goyard, like, belt.
I'm like, I know who did that first.
Yeah, me, and he has the shaved head like I do. I don't know.
You guys should
be friends. My swag. Ben Baller, come on the pod.
I feel like you guys should be friends.
Ben Baller. Yo, fam.
I got you, fam.
Yo, fam.
He's got the K-Town Destroyer. that shit's fire, bro. It beats everybody.
Yeah, but that's my fit today. Nothing bulling, just straight bulling. You know,
I feel you, man.
Just chilling out. The weather here in LA.
Yeah,
As long as I don't have black like Doc Martens with red laces with this outfit, I'm okay.
Yeah, you'll be pushing a different cause if you have that on.
I don't know. Kanye might like it though. Who knows?
Who knows what Ye's up to?
All right, so this is the Fashion Week edition, like Milan and Paris, Pidielmo.
This is like the Super Bowl.
I mean, what London's probably next week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But London's cool. But like, everyone talks about the Paris and Milan one. Those are like
Yeah.
the major hitters. And of course, there's New York, but New York is like the commercial one, which some people show out. Nothing crazy. Like this is the one that people actually like come out for, and that's like a statement. You know, like what's your whole feeling about Fashion Week in 2023?
I'm curious to see what they're going to bring back into the mix, because I feel like for the past couple of years it's been this whole Y2K, 90s evolution of streetwear into high fashion.
Yeah.
So what are we going to see? You mentioned a couple times it's like going to be the high end suit tailoring.
Yeah, I mean, we mentioned this on this podcast. Like, I think that's where the inertia of where the industry is going to take it, right?
And I've seen a lot of some of the brands that don't have, I guess, like for example, Gucci, they, phased out Alessandro, and now they have a new designer.
It was a design by committee approach.
So now their new collection was a lot of just basics and essentials.
Yeah,
that were done really well, which I think is a nice taste.
I liked it. Honestly, I liked it better what Alessandro was putting out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I think it was much more.
It was made for Harry Styles.
Was it?
Well, no. I'm saying Alessandro's clothes is like made for Harry Styles. Like,
oh, I see.
Only someone like that can wear it.
Yeah,
kind of like a Rick Owens.
I like how it was very bland, for lack of a better word. It was very just like kind of, it could go walking through many different rooms and not upset anybody.
100%. They needed the opposite.
Yeah, I know how they're trying to bring back like the permanent collection for their leather goods side, and it's kind of leaking over to the clothes, where it's like, let's make it something much more nuanced and much more versatile, right? Not just like such a showpiece anymore. Not like that.
These could be their mainstay ready to wears that are going to be stocked at all times and available online.
Yeah, I mean, Saint Laurent has that already, like the permanent collection. You know what I mean? I think maybe they're trying to build that. I mean, that's where the real money's at. It's like you make these immaculate pieces that you could wear any season, any time, and then they're going to show out every fashion week or something like that.
Yeah, with something new or a different iteration of it.
I'm still waiting for Tom Ford to come back at Gucci, so.
Yep. Or Louis Vuitton. Please go there. I want to see what you'll do with it.
It's hear about Miley Cyrus, that like she doesn't wear new designer past like 2004. Yeah, so all she's been wearing is like archival vintage pieces of like designers. I like it. I don't know. I love her new track, by the way.
I haven't heard it.
The Flower song, the one that's about like Liam Neeson. Not Liam Neeson, Liam Hemsworth. Imagine if it was about Liam Neeson.
I have a.
Let's make that happen. Liam Neeson and Miley Cyrus.
I have a very specific skill set, and I am not afraid to use it.
No, but I heard about the whole thing. It's like a revenge type of song.
Honestly, I haven't heard the song.
Hemsworth. You haven't heard the song?
No.
And you're on TikTok.
I just got on TikTok.
Shivering Breaks on TikTok, so you should be on TikTok.
Yeah.
Because our TikTok's popping off.
Yeah, you guys check it out.
Yeah. So what's the first show you want to talk about?
I think the first one,
or Milan.
Let's start off with Italy. Let's talk about Armani.
And
kick off the Gattaca vibes.
I mean, Giorgio Armani he's the GOAT. You know, I've always told people of like when I get married, I do want to wear a Giorgio Armani black tie affair. You know what I mean? The tuxedo. It's classic. You know what I mean? If everyone knows what we're talking about, it's Giorgio Armani was very famous in the late 80s, 90s of this long drape, long fabric. You know what I mean? Lapels. You know, just everything just kind of dragged out and stretched. You know what I mean? It just sits well and it's very relaxed though, right?
I feel you on that.
And we didn't really see that this season.
No, it was something completely different. I felt like it was like kind of space vibes.
Futuristic. Yeah, 100%. I think you see that a lot of the suiting this season is like one button or buttonless almost, right? Or at least they have the buttons hidden. I mean, we're going for like that very clean, sleek look as far as tailoring goes. Do you think this is just a fad, or is this something that is a rejection of something?
Pardon me. I think it's a fad right now. They're going through different phases.
Well, yeah, fashion's a cycle, right? So, like, why this cycle? Why not earlier?
I think this is a post Y2K.
Post Y2K, I think so. I think they're trying to like
The best way I can describe it is like originally when the TVs were like flat screens, but the back of it was a huge, chunk of
a behemoth
plastic.
of fucking rock in the back.
Exactly. And you're like, okay, it just appears like a flat screen from the front, but when you look to the side, you see it has so much going on. And I guess in terms of clothing, all the silhouette
TVs now are
on.
almost flat as fucking paper.
Exactly. So
Right.
we saw that.
I see what you mean.
We saw that not only in like the Armani one with their suits, how they're going with that Gattaca vibe.
No, we saw it with Dior. We saw it with
Prada.
Louis Vuitton, Givenchy. We saw it with Saint Laurent. I'm like, come on, right? Like, I do love the heavy shoulders they're bringing back in play. A lot of brands have like enormously large shoulders. Like that's something that Giorgio Armani kind of popularized during that time. It's like 80s power suit, right? 80s power suit, 90s even too, right?
Like that Wall Street banker.
Yeah, that Patrick Bateman fucking shoulder.
The Michael Douglas.
I think we talk about this like, I think this is going to be a trend in the future. Is like, I think we've been doing what the soft shoulder or unconstructed shoulder, excuse me. And how do you like the whole strong like shoulder power V look?
I like it. I think it's a very nice, structured, tailored look. It'd be cool to bring back the contrast colors.
Yeah.
The white with, the white collar, white cuffs, stripes, and, bring back some nice thick ties with big lapels, wide lapels, and just see everybody be a yuppie for a year or two.
Okay, so this is like the main constraint is like really is like it's big shoulders and it's like tailoring. That's kind of going back into foray. Like you see all these major shows, and I think the whole like streetwear phase of fashion is really kind of, you think it's on a downturn, or is it just not as sexy as it used to be, or it's not as like rebellious as it used to be?
I think that culture is going back to its subculture.
You think so?
Like that party's over. It's going to be something new right now, which we're seeing. It's the suiting and the tailoring.
You're seeing a lot of collars. You're seeing a lot of like people going in and out. You see slacks. Like,
yeah.
I rarely saw any jeans, honestly. Like,
No.
I don't know. I don't know.
Leather
I like
pants?
it. It's a good different leather. I mean, some leather, like you expect Givenchy to have leather. They have leather, right? You expect Saint Laurent to have leather. They have leather. They have patent leather even. But I feel like they do it for certain looks, but that's not the overall arching line that they're trying to push for the season, right? And I'm pretty sure all they have is like what's like vegetable leather or vegan leather, right? No one does real fur or leather anymore, right?
I'd be upset if I didn't get real fur leather.
Yeah, all the major fashion brands now, they do synthetic. Either it's like vegan leather or in synthetic faux fur.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because like, we can talk about that another time. We go in depth, but right now it's about
I understand
fashion.
why. I'm just saying, if I'm going to spend
Yeah.
$7,000 on a fucking coat, I wanted that shit to be chinchilla.
What about the art, Mr. Bias? What about the art?
Listen, I'm not a Philistine.
Yo, I just taught this guy the word Philistine, blew his fucking mind. He's like, this is the most like subtle way to like diss somebody.
It's the most pretentious way to diss someone.
Like most condescending, patronizing word. It's like, fucking Philistine. You would say that, Philistine.
If I'm going to be wearing chinchilla, I want that chinchilla to be chinchillin'.
All right, Frank Lucas, you blot that shit.
Exactly.
You don't wipe it. So I think what everyone has in mind is the Louis Vuitton show, right? It's
Exactly.
Kid Super did the show. He did a capsule collection. I just found out it was a capsule collection. And for thoughts,
It seemed like a fucking movie.
it was a movie. When we saw, it's like a story. There's a narrative to it. And you think it went well with what they were presenting?
Honestly, I got the beginning of it, the kid growing up. but I got lost when Rosalia came out. Loved her performance. My thoughts on it, honestly, were like, there were some cool pieces, but I felt like a lot of them were influenced by pop culture.
Yeah.
Some of them had like with the balloons on there, and then they had the writing across the coat or the suit jacket, which is kind of Virgil-esque. And some of it felt like Virgil's throwaway items.
I could see that. I think I agree on the sense that I think what Kid Super did was very derivative of what Virgil Abloh did, as far as like being very playful, very cartoonish, having references, homaging other things that influence them in their life. So it's this really weird dichotomy. You have like the reference of the reference that's referencing other artwork. So I was like postmodern thought, but it doesn't work out because your predecessor did that already. And it's just like what you see, the bags, the reflective bags, Virgil did that. You see the polka dotted suit, but we did with balloons, Virgil. You know what I mean?
He had a really cool...
His sets around the runway, it seems like Virgil S, where it's like, it's very much a narrative. That's, like I said, pop art. It's like on the nose, but there's still some type of, either some type of political or like social subtext going on to the situation. Obviously, like the black individual in the beginning of the, I don't know, we call it documentary or narrative, it seems to be very much like, oh, that's like Virgil. Right, he's like the young kid with a dream and achieves it and smashes through all these rooms that he's in.
I see what they're... Well, I get it now.
Yeah, but you think he's gonna take it? You think he's gonna continue with Louis Vuitton?
I don't think so. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze on that one.
No. Yeah,
I fuck with some of the stuff. Like there was an oversized trench coat, but it was like a gray wool, or like a gray it was like a gray wool, and it was really nice, like nice silhouette, billowed in the right places. That thing was fly, but some of the stuff was just
again they had like the long top coat, strong shoulders.
You're gonna see a lot of long
top. Like Matrix is the vibes right now for the coats, but no cohesion, like jumping look to look with no like linear consistency of why you made that choice as as why you trying, like what kind of statement or story you're trying to tell. It didn't really connect with me. And the Rosalia, I know like she's kind of, her performance on the internet is like so. I did like the first half of it, like when she was like kicking off the show, and then the second half of it, I was like, I don't know, it's a bit much. That Latina passion came out. Yeah, but good for Rosalia. We're gonna watch her.
Big ups to her. I'm a fan.
Big ups to Rosalia.
Big ups. On Ja.
We're gonna watch her in Coachella.
Yeah. The pod's going to Coachella.
Rosalia is definitely a vibe, but I think the vibe wasn't aligned with what was going on with Louis Vuitton at the moment right now. That's what I think. So,
thank you. And now back from our proud sponsor, Sip Slow.
Blue Chew.
Shout out to our boy EXO.
Okay, next show on the docket is the Givenchy show. Our boy, big fan, Matthew Williams. Thoughts?
The LA thoughts or the OC thoughts?
The ones that matter. So anyone that,
honestly, the show was fire. Like,
that's my favorite show. Hands down.
So far, I'm tied between that one and the YSL.
Okay, everyone, I think this is a great entry point for anyone that's not in the fashion week. Go watch a Givenchy show and look at the outfits, look at the stage design, look at the music. That's what it's all about, the atmosphere, right? The
and it's
vibe.
only like 7 minutes.
In 7 minutes. The biggest trend right now, too, in these fashion shows, when they depict it or stream it, it's like 20 minutes, 18, 30. Like, it's so long. Like, why is that happening?
I think they're just trying to put they're just trying to be so fucking extra.
I think they're trying to put narrative is strong right now. Like, story is strong.
They're trying to sell their why. Like, okay, Steve Jobs, I fucking get it.
I got a hot take. Do you think people are doing more narrative to cut away from the actual technical ability that they're trying to display?
The fact that their product is shitty.
Is that what you think?
I feel like if you have to put so much narrative on it, that means your product's shitty.
You think?
Like, look at for example, the Givenchy one.
Yeah.
They just walked around a fucking...
No narrative, really.
They just walked around a square for 7 minutes.
It's not even square, but like, it was like slanted, and then you got the stage lights going down. It looked very white and cool, like a cloud white, like a nimbus white. And then
it's kind of
like the color is black, right? So you put an all white structure, and then you have these models running down the running black. It just really pops out, and it's like it's such a simple technique, but it was executed very well.
Yeah, the tailoring on there, the silhouettes, the cuts, the fabrics they chose.
Yeah, my
specifically
opinion,
the color, the black.
The black, right? Like it's so jarring. Like you see white, you see a black speck, your eye goes to the black speck immediately, right? It's like, well, what is that? And I got layering, so many layering textures. Like he was layering like a flannel, he was layering camo, he was layering like distressed materials. I mean, we saw the cut off double knee pants. Yep. And as soon as you saw that, you're like, whoa, like that's the shorts of the summer right there.
Definitely.
We want to explain to the audience what you saw about the double knee pants shorts. Like,
it was just like, well, everyone knows the double knee Carhartt pants or the double knee Dickies pants that everyone's been rocking.
Yeah.
So, homie just took a pair of scissors and chopped them at the knees.
Yeah, but he chopped it, but it still looked tailored.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean? It looked boxy, a little long for me, but like it looked good. Then he was like layering it with top of some like pants.
He was using it as a kilt, I think.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't a full short. That was like he used it more like a kilt in the front. I couldn't see if the back, if it
almost like a
around.
Working apron. In a
Exactly.
way. And like, is that like you think it's like a representation? It's like these things are still tools. These things are still utilities. Like it also, I took it as maybe it's a representation of. It could be his like antithesis of the double knee pants because like it's everywhere. Like Mason Kitsune has double knee pants. They have no business making double knee pants, right?
True, but they did a good job.
You know what I mean? I feel like he's like, hey, I'm chopping them off. They're done. Let's repurpose it to something else.
I feel like it could be a form of protest. Either way, even if you're just an everyday listener, take a look at the fucking pants that he turned into shorts.
I mean, the leather.
The leather. My favorite though. Those fur coats.
You only had 2 fur coats in the show.
Black one
and the natural chinchilla one. Faux fur, real fur. It looked fire. It looks so cool. Like that's the way people wear it though. They wear a fur coat and they wear like a hoodie underneath.
Exactly.
Like, it's like Cozy Boy Maximus level. You know, that's
God level.
Yeah, it was great. I think we see again the long top coat, matrix, dark,
80 shoulders.
Again, really strong shoulders. I don't know. It reminded me of like space punk.
Again, Gattaca vibes.
You know what I mean? It's like the whole module of the whole set looked like you're inside a spaceship. You know what I mean? And like they're layering because they're in Mars and like you got dressed for all conditions, but you got to do it in the most chicest way you can do it. Right?
I can see that. Like just imagine if you went to a casino in Mars. How would you be dressed?
Like that.
Exactly. One thing I liked a lot though, it was an oversized double-breasted tuxedo jacket.
Oh yeah, I mean you went
and
off
it was
on that.
cropped, so they used it. You could throw a hoodie under it,
but it was wide enough where it kind of slouches, but you still see the structure of the shoulders and like the length of the actual sleeve.
But super wide peak lapel.
Classic.
The lapels almost went out to the fucking
tailoring.
shoulders. Like it was.
He's playing with it. He's playing with it. It's like, how can you take something so formal like a 1920s style of tuxedo and modernize it to the way where it's wearable now in 2023? I think he did a phenomenal job. But go along the lines now, same with the emphasis of like black and dark textures was Saint Laurent show. It's Anthony Vaccarello. I'm pretty sure I'm butchering it, but his show is probably my second favorite. It's really close to the Givenchy show. You know what I mean? You see a lot, again, like the long drapes, the fluidity of the movement of their outfits, but it still has kept this structure in a weird way. I know it sounds very like opposite of what I'm describing, but if you go watch his show, the shoulders, it's even bigger than a Givenchy.
The best way I can describe it is like, think about 80s Wall Street, suiting.
Gone sexy.
But all black everything.
It's just dripping with ooze of like, I'm ready to fuck.
The leathers they chose, the furs, the silhouettes. It's just like...
Let's just say the models twigs.
Yeah.
Like I can't wear this. I'm too short and I'm too like stubby to wear this, honestly. But just looking at the visual component, like it looks really nice. And yo, talk about the stage.
Dude, the stage was dope. It was at the Bureau of Commerce, I believe is what it's called.
In Paris, right?
In Paris, in Paris. It was there. It's now a
Bonsoir,
museum.
bitch.
And it was a rotunda, I believe, from my boy.
The architecture is rotunda. It's actually made famous by the Greek and perfected by the Romans, where it's like circular, and then you have an oculus in the center, which reduces the weight of the roof, and then you have like the center light going down onto the stage, and then in the ceiling we have like this huge mural of like, what was like a Renaissance art that's actually like mosaicked on the ceiling. And then you have like this ledge, and then you have the lights underneath the ledge heading down to the models. And it was just like a very theatrical show. And then they have this piano playing this very soft, just moody, vibey, easy to listen to piano. And you hear these strong, angular patterns and drape you see from Saint Laurent. And it's just a great juxtaposition. And it was a great mise en scene.
Had a certain je ne sais quoi.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta lose like 30 more pounds and grow 5 more inches to wear that stuff, but it is beautiful.
Yeah, you have to be very skinny and petite to wear the YSL clothes, but
It's almost gender fluid, right? It's almost
pretty
like
much.
girls and guys wearing the same outfits, and they look great. Like, it look nice, dude. They're top coats. That's what I got. Their top coats there is, bro. They had pleats on the top coat. I was like, what is going on right now?
dude, some of them just it was like Matrix to the 10th power.
Yeah, I remember they had this like leather raincoat. I haven't seen that popping since, Hugo Boss's thing back in World War II. We'll just leave it at that.
Since Hugo Boss's debut.
Yeah. I don't know about debut, but he did his work. Like it looks great. Now I think we're heading from the same kind of tones because Saint Laurent had like a lot of black and white aesthetic with some hues of beige. Who else focused more on the white part and the beige would be Dior. And Kim Jones has been firing on all cylinders. It's probably my third favorite show. Where would you rank it amongst what we named off right now? Givenchy, Louis Vuitton, Saint Laurent.
Complete polar opposite. He's very
light, angelic.
I think of clouds. I think of a dream state when I see his.
Yeah.
When I see his show, when I see his, his production of his fashion show.
Yeah.
And one thing that I saw was crazy was, it's kind of like everything's relaxed fitting. Think of like 90s Armani, but with Dior colorways and textiles.
It was just white, bone, light gray, light beige,
flannel.
There was some flannel.
Texture.
There was some jersey. There was some was it linen? A lot of linen, a lot of cotton, and again, clean lines as far as like the tailoring goes. Very little to no buttons, pop collars, and then there was like that Dior brooch. It looked great.
How do you feel about the kilt core?
I don't know. Everyone's trying to do like the soft kilt. I mean, that was the thing back in 2008. Everyone was trying to do
Marc
like
Jacobs.
Marc Jacobs. I mean,
the
like
Doc Martens.
Black Scale, or right? Remember like.
Yeah, but that wasn't really.
Or Ricardo Tisci was doing the kilt and stuff like that, and then Rick Owens had like a kilt, like it was like a short, was really wide. He overlay over pants, and it ends up looking like a fucking skirt, or what do you call it, a kilt. You know what I mean? Someone's walking in right now with the leather jacket. There
exactly. So we got some leather on the way. And we're back.
From our short title break. We had a guest come in mid-conversation.
Yeah. They really fucked shit up.
You had a
they brought that energy.
A self-proclaimed city girl come in, and that was quite a conversation we had about speaking with things. Anyways, we were on the Dior show.
She'll be a guest very soon. You'll see them.
I just want to say I'm all in on female toxicity. That's the number one trending thing in 2023. It's going to be accepted, and it's going to be loved, and it's going to be appreciated.
We're here for the fuck girl era.
All girl shipping break coming in 6 months? I don't know.
Sooner than later. So, Dior. Them kilts. The kilt core.
We were speaking on Dior. Let's get on that. I mean, the color palette was amazing. The white, the soft beiges, the light grays. It seemed very angelic. Something from the clouds. Yeah.
It seemed like that's the that was the clothing for them to wear in heaven. Like if Kim Jones designed it.
I mean, the background, you had that one actress from Game of Thrones, a really tall one that's very stately and very regal. And I think there's like a regalness to the whole collection. There's something about it being so light and fluffy and minimal, right? It's one singular line they're walking down. Again, with the violins and the big stark screen in the back. It felt more like poetry.
Yeah, kind of like a play.
Yeah. Louis Vuitton's tried to be like a play, but I think the ethos, the feeling of a play that Dior achieved more. You know, I think Kim Jones, like I said, is operating at the highest level. He's probably the top guy in the industry right now, in fashion industry, and I see nothing stopping him.
So is this a proof he can make a good collection without collabs?
I appreciate the collabs because like he bigs up people that like he bigged up Sean Stussy, which a lot of people didn't believe. Like he's the OG streetwear maestro. Like that's if we were gonna say like streetwear as like a fashion house, he is the original fashion house. Right.
Truth.
Until this day, they're still making incredible pieces of fabric and clothes. Like I'm still a devout like follower of Stussy, as you may now. I have so many pieces from them, and I think it's iconic. You know, it's straight iconic.
100%, man.
I think he had like the Matthew Williams and Alix. He did his buckles one season. I think he had the Travis Scott collection.
Yeah, that was a thing for a bit. So he's had quite a few collabs.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting that you say no collabs and he's doing on his own footing. And I think it's very incredible what he's doing right now. And he's I don't see him. He's running the race. He's point break.
Have you seen the 3D printed shoes they made?
I see the Givenchy ones, 3D printed shoes with the like bulbish heel. I haven't seen the Dior ones.
Dior one, they look like they're a pair of derbies, kind of like the Doc Martens. They're pretty dope.
You know me, I love derbies. Any type of derbies, I'm all in for. Speaking of derbies, the Prada show. Like he has like Raf Simons and Mauricio Prada, obviously they're co-creative directors of Prada at the moment, but the shoes, it's all Raf right there.
100%.
He's known for his footwear. Like he make it in some type of futuristic footwear, and like the derbies with the top stitching that goes around that looks like I don't know what you call it, like some type of like Spalding cut. I don't know, you know what I mean? And then he has like that flat top that covers the laces that looks like a derby / penny loafer with the chunky soles. And what was surprising is Prada's kind of marching to the beat of their own drum.
Yeah, they're not following everybody else.
Yeah, what have you noticed that you think makes them so singular?
What we've seen for the past year and a half, 2 years, relaxed, fit jeans, pants, denim, whatever it may be, nothing is slim anymore.
Yeah, and people were doing like the long top coat, the big drape, wide, everything's wide, jackets wide, shirts wide, legs wide.
Prada took a left turn on that.
They did the opposite, right?
They have the slim pants cropped.
Yeah.
And usually if you have something slim and cropped, it's going to be paired with a streamlined shoe. But they have the chunky Raf shoe.
Yeah.
The shoes designed by Raf. On top of that, they have kind of a boxy silhouette on their jackets, on their coats, their sports coats, just traditional jackets they have. But it's cropped to accompany the tailoring of the pants. So I think it's completely different of what they're doing. On top of that, the Flask work bags, super fire.
I love it. I think it's great. I don't know. Maybe it's the drunk in me is just like a bigger flask is always a better flask. It's like a tote bag too, though, right?
Why have less when you can have more?
And you know what? As Liberace says, more is more.
Exactly. But it's like I think it was like a modern take on something a bit 70s. And the only reason I bring up 70s is because the collars. They were like some Goodfella collars.
It was like a 70s collar, but the jacket was high up. But they had like ties. Mm-hmm. They had ties on their shirt. No one wears ties anymore. And they brought that back. And then they also had like these billowing pillow like crew neck sweaters. You saw that too, right? And then you mentioned while we were watching the show, it's like, oh, their invitations to the show was a pillow.
Yeah, it was a pillowcase.
My interpretation is that is like we're trying to be boring because if you look at the color palettes, it's muted tones. Mm-hmm. It's black, it's muted orange, it's muted blue, it's muted white. Like it's
all
like
fall colors.
It's like flat. You know what I mean? And like, you look at he's into like brutalist architecture too, but there's like hints of orange beams and steel. Like, you know what I mean? It's like ennui, like almost boredom. I don't know if that's like Raph and Mauritius's like interpretation of fashion at the moment. It's like we're bored and we're just gonna go off on that. It's like this is what boredom looks like. I don't know. How'd you take it?
I felt like they definitely let the clothes speak for itself. They were definitely just the color palette was definitely very fall, very earth tone, very muted. But it was the way they presented the clothes as far as the structure of it, the tailoring, the detailing of like the collars, the way the pants were slimmer, cropped, cuffed.
Yeah.
And the shape of everything. I think I like it. And I feel like it's a good change of pace from everything that we've been seeing. Because all we've seen so far is long top coats, which, don't get me wrong, I love a long top coat.
I have.
But how many versions of that can you see?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see that in the next coming year for sure. It's long top coat. I mean, I had the Y3 Yoji Yamamoto like a year ago, 2 years ago, I think, with the long top coat. And everyone's like, why you look like Matrix? Why does it look asymmetrical? I'm like, motherfucker, you don't know. Then now we're just going to see the wave of that. But I totally understand. Just something about it's muted, but under muted and ennui, it's like that's their rebellion. That's their protest, right? And Raph, like a couple of years ago, said like, "Oh, the hoodie is dead." It wasn't dead, but it's like in my mind, like I don't make hoodies no more. And in a way, for him, is like this is the way. It's like I don't do that. I stick to my guns, and I think this is what the new silhouette needs to be. I don't think it's that new, honestly.
No,
I
it's
think
a re-rendition.
It's a re-rendition. I agree on that, and I think it's just one of those things where I feel like he's just trying to
turn the cycle.
He's trying to make a statement without trying to be loud about it, and that's like, quiet. I don't know.
Yeah, if you understand, you understand. If you don't, you don't. And I feel like it's him turning the cycle. Like, okay, let's get past this. Let's get onto something new.
But I feel blessed that we get to see basically a perennial collaboration between Mauritia Prada and Raph Simmons. Like, come on, like
goats,
just elite level competition right there. But one of the shows we didn't really like was the Loewe show.
Not a fan.
Bland, yeah. But without making it a statement. It's like bland as if like boring. Like ennui is supposed to be boring, but ennui is like a philosophy. There is like boredom, like I can move on to the next show.
Yeah, the way I felt about Loewe was like maybe three main items: long coats, puffy bombers.
Oh, long coats, puffy bombers,
square-toed
jacuzzi
shoes and boots.
Yeah,
and a whole lot of silk.
Silk, yes.
A lot of evening wear.
How do you feel about the silk?
I don't know. I don't go to Loewe for silk.
My thing is like I think that's distasteful in this time of this period. Like silk, really? Silk is like something so opulent and so royal and so like aristocratic. And right now we're going through a phase where like we're kind of like not on that wave. You know what I mean? Like remember that era? And like, know how normcore was bred from extravagance. Silk is extravagance, no? Don't get me wrong, like silk drapes very well and it stacks and it flows and it's fluid, but